Hi friends, welcome to Bright Future Hub channel. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more amazing videos in the future. So please like this video and subscribe the channel. Thank you.
Today, there is something concept called subqueries. What is subqueries? Writing a SQL within a SQL is called a subquery. So when you use a join what it is, it uses more than one table to extract the data. Like it is pulls the data more than one table. When you use join, not necessarily you pull the data. When you use a join is, you need a data more than one table. That's the reason you look for an option called joins. Join 2 tables, 3 tables, 5 tables. You collectively gather the data or the column from multiple tables and you pull out in your SQL. But subSQL or a subquery, you always pull data from only from one table, but you refer existence or non-existence of data in the other table. You just peep into other table and you look at whether the subtime conditions met or not. But subqueries always returns from the data from only one table. But here 2 tables are being used. One table is to pull the data and other table is used to verify the existence or non-existence of certain data, the conditions you wanted to check and you wanted to pull. Example, I wanted to find, look at here, I need employee information. I doesn't need any department information. If at all I need department information, is the only option you need to pull the data from both EMP and department table using the join. What join you used to use? That is based on the business requirement. Either all the data from a left table, right table, both, then use a full join. But I need all the data from the employee table, but I am very sure. But I won't hold on. Let me create these 2 tables quickly. Okay, look at here now. In the department table, I have only the department information. Okay, and employee has employee information. Now I need all the data from the employee table. I don't need any single information from department, but I need employees they're working for the department called research. So you have to verify this data against some other table. What I'm saying is I need the data from the employee table. Okay, but I need to verify the existence or employees are working for the department called research. This is department details are in the other table. That's the reason I'm going to use the subqueries here, because my intention is I would have used the joins, but joins I'm not preferring here because I need data from only from one table. Then why I should waste the resourcing joining the 2 tables? I don't do that. What I do is I'm going to peep. Peep means peeping into other table for certain conditions. My condition is I wanted to find an employee who work for the research. Here also to make this peeping or relation to tables, how we are using a joining, there should be a relationship exist between these 2 tables. Otherwise, you cannot peep it because there should be relation to go and look at into other houses what is happening there. So here also you need a relationship between these 2 tables to check it what is happening in the other table. Certainly, I need all the data from the employee table. How these 2 tables are related to each other?
Department number.
Okay, I am going to say where that is only the common column or relational column can join or match these 2 tables. Otherwise, there is no relation, means you cannot do anything. Where department number is equal to, here I have a 2 option to submit the value, hard code the value. Example, I go to department table and check out what is the department of the research is equal to 20. I can write a 20 here. It will fetch all the people who work for the research. These are the people working on the research, not research. What is it? Research department is called research. They are working on the research department. But what if the case the department research got a new updated department number? There is always reorganization happens in the companies. What if someone goes and update the department number 20 to 200? Will your able SQL is able to return the exact answer what you wanted? No, because you have hard coded the value. You have put the value at this stage. What is there in the department? You have written the value of 20 here in the SQL. But at the runtime, someone goes and change the values. You're gone. Okay. So now your values will completely change. Just for information, imagine department 20 will become sales, 200 becomes your research. And the moment you write the SQL, the program you are executing, instead of research, it is going to pull the sales. That's the reason what is happening. Someone is typing that. What is this? Someone typing in the chat? Is not sure. Okay. Now I don't want to put this hard-coded value. What I do is I'm going to check from the department table. I'm saying here, get me the department table, department number from department table, where department number is not. I going to, irrespective of whatever the department number, I don't care. I'm going to check at the runtime. I say d name, department name is equal to research. So this is where you see the two set of SQLs. One is, this is called outer SQL and this is called inner SQL. So that's why we call them subqueries. Subqueries will be usually having a two tables of data being extracted. One is, hold on a minute, please. But here we have two set of tables. This is your main table. The data is always be pulled from the outer SQL. This is called outer SQL and this is called inner SQL. How the SQL is always works is always be inner SQL executed first. It executes first. It supplies values to your outer SQL. See here, the inner SQL. This is called inner SQL. Okay. So in this case, in both the conditions, always inner SQL execute first. Queries. What is the first condition? It pulls data from main query or outer query. This is not main or outer query. Sorry, main or outer SQL. Okay. Next condition is inner SQL always get execute first and provides values to outer SQL. Okay. So look at here. It is always first inner SQL gets executed. This one get executed, and it provides an output to an execution for outer query. Outer queries takes a value from the inner SQL and it produces an output. Now, as I explained earlier, clear of, I will not, irrespective of whatever it is, department, update department number for any department. It could be a 300, 500,000. I don't care. My SQL is always going to find the employees that work for the department, because at the runtime or dynamically at the runtime or execution time, I'm going to fetch the data out of the table and I'm equating against the employee table. Now you do not have any fear hard coding the value. That means you do not have any fear you are reporting the wrong data. So this is how the sub SQLs works. So before jumping into next discussion, any questions here?
Sir, can I have multiple conditions inside that? Like,
yeah, you can write any SQL is a SQL. You can write anything, whatever you have learned so far. It could be a join, it could be an aggregate, anything. You can run it. That's imagine this is a normal SQL. Normal SQL means it could be a join, aggregates, multiple, and or in, or you wanted to like it. I wanted to check for the employees. They work only for more than one department. Example, they were working for what is that? Other than research, we have another account. Yes, I think we have an account. The sub-SQL is could be a normal SQL. Okay, that's no need to. Now I'm working for the. I want to check for the people work for the location New York and Dallas. What should I do? what I do is where location. How do I sorry? How do I find
Location is
people in operator we should use? Yes, I'm going to use the in. I say here New York, and I comma. I say here plus. Okay. First, this, as I said, this SQL get executed always. Then it produces an output for the output. This is why it is coming only. I think I made any mistake.
Dallas.
What is the spell?
DALLAS.
DALLAS. Okay. Now I run the SQL. It is going to fetch you the employees that are working for the department numbers. Okay. Got it now. Okay. It's a good example. We'll discuss about it. Let's do one thing. First, I'll put this one. Then I'll run it. Yes, it is only fetching the dollars values. Okay. Let me copy paste this into our notes. What we did it yesterday. Okay. Okay. Now equal, I'm using the equal symbol here. What is equal checks for? When use equal, when I say equal, where department number is equal to how many values you can check?
Single value.
Single value can check. Here also, since I'm using equal, your subsequel must be expecting to return only one value at a time. If you have more example, let's take an example. I have written earlier dollar something else, Dallas plus New York. Okay, here. Now what is happening? Your subsequel is returning more than one value, correct? Is returning more than one value. That's the reason this will be equated with equal to 10, 20. Will it work? It will work.
It didn't work.
It will not work. That's the reason it is throwing subsequel is returning more than. Oh my God, it's all gone now. Let me copy from here. So what is the problem when you are? So before jumping to that, any questions here? The normal subsequel, the plain subsequels, it will have a two SQL. One is an outer SQL, one is an inner SQL. Inner SQL executes always first, returns the values to outer SQL. Outer SQL takes the input from the result of the inner SQL, produces the output. Three steps process: inner SQL, outer SQL. Inner SQL execute first, produce output to the outer SQL. Outer SQL takes the input result from the inner SQLs and executes. But since I'm using the equal, I'm expecting this inner SQL has to be written only one value. If at all it's returning more than one value,
Yes.
what is happening? It is returning the value. It says subsequel returns more than single expression.
telling me that
That's the reason it is working. Otherwise, it should not work. See here, single row subquery returns more than one row. What is the meaning? It is returning, definitely it is returning more than one value. It is not able to equate. And what should the option I have?
In.
That's the reason you have to use in operator here. Yeah, that's all. It's very easy when you learn fundamentally the concepts, early first initial days concept. This all is just joining again. Okay, now look at here. So usually we don't see the SQL with an subquery using the equal operators, because the moment you find any value other than the more than one value, your inner SQLs use of. So that's the reason you find any subsequel. I strongly recommend don't use in equal at all. By any chance, if a data has been changed in future, today you might return the SQL, it's returning only one value. The subsequel is returning only one value. But in future, data has been changed. Someone has entered the more than your condition has been met more than one record. Your SQL will be get failed because subquery returns more. This is one of the interview questions they will ask you. This is how they become habit, you know. They try to look your practical knowledge rather than the conceptual. If you really worked then only you are able to get this question. Like question is clear. You know that subquery is written in more than one value. You should use a equal in instead of equal. But they will not ask that question. They will ask this query. Single row subquery it has more than value. What is that meaning? How do you work? So thing is, this is how you need to remember. Okay, I do not strongly recommend and never try to use equal operator. I always try to use in operator to manage if any case inner SQL returns more than one value, I mysql will never get failed.
Sir,
Okay.
one question I have. So in the inner query that we write, can I use and write one more select?
Anything, yeah, you can write, yeah, you can, and not. You
Meaning
have
like if I need to check multiple conditions, like if
yes, and you can use and you can write it. Any SQL I said yes, you can do it. Just is normal SQL. There is no limitation what SQL you write within a sub SQL.
It's like the if condition, like inner if, like I can use multiple
yes.
ifs. Okay.
Itself you can have another subquery again, where again in the where class you can write and, for example, I'm saying location in. You can write one more subquery again. It's called nested subqueries. You can write one more where location from location table. I don't have just an example where name is equal to Bangalore. So this is become a nested one within another one. Let me show that. Hold on. Anyway, this will not run because I don't have a table. Okay. Okay. Look at here. This is your nested and yeah, you can write this way also. First, this will execute. Always inner SQLs execute first. It will execute first. It will return the output to the this SQL. This SQL works and produces the output to that. Here your subSQL could be any format, any normal SQL you write it. Whatever you learned so far, you can write any such normal SQL within the subquery. This is the readability format. People write it for more easy of reading this way. This is the actual way we write. So people understand easily here. What is subSQL? What is main SQL? Any questions? Okay, I'll ask you a question. Find out your employees. Find out a department. It doesn't have any employee. Fine, let's see how you do it. I need what I need. Find a department. Find a department. It doesn't have any employees. Keshav?
Yeah, Vinay. Yeah.
So does not exist means it doesn't have any employees. If you want to find department does not have any employees means it does not exist in the, if it is that department exists in the employee table, that means it has one, it belongs to, it is some of the people working for that particular department. If you have this department does not exist means it doesn't have any people working for the particular department. Clear? Okay. So this is very useful. Some people don't learn joins, they learn only subsequence, but I strongly recommend you should learn joins, also subsequence also. Okay. Now I'm telling, look at here. Now I'm using the two tables for our subsequence. I use the same table for find an employee whose salary is greater than the salaries of Mr. Smith. Smith is taking not Smith, Ford, not Ford. Taking this one, Alan. I want to find an employee. Please listen to this. I need to find an employee whose salary is greater than the salary of Smith. Sorry, not Smith, Alan. What should we do?
Subquery the same table again.
Yeah. I'm saying here I need all the data from the employee table where salary is greater than, select sal from the employee table where
Yeah, employee is Alan.
where
E-name
is Alan, where e-name is equal to Alan. Okay, these are the people having a salary, but you also, okay, these are the people who are getting a salaries more than the Alan salary. There's so many examples you can solve. Employee salary greater than Alan salary. Okay, find out find out an employees they're having a manager same like a John's. Just try this one. Let's see how do you try. Find employees having manager same as manager of John's. Obviously, you need all the data from the employee table. That's correct. So there is a two option I said here list where some people doesn't know how to do. They say where MGR is equal to, first they go and check out John's manager is 7839. They put a 7839 directly here. What is the problem of doing this when is if you return the code, this is a hard value here because this is only good for this present time. But tomorrow Jones reports to some other manager. It becomes 7839 becomes 75566. Then your report become void. It become wrong. So what you need to do at runtime, you need to find the manager is equal to, okay, manager is equal to, I'm using the manager is equal to, select MGR from EMP, same, it's simple, from EMP, where John's name is equal to John's, that's all. You find the manager of the John's and equating with an others managers value. First here, what will happen? Subsequent works first. It pulls the manager of the employee table. Employee manager is John's manager is 7839. This will be given to the outer SQL who are having the manager value 7839. They all having a 7839. These also. You don't want John's. What should we do? See now, question is find the employees having a manager same as a manager of the John's. I should not report in the John's here. What should I do? I need to filter John's from in the output. What should I do?
and e-name not equal to John.
This is, I'm using an AND in the outer SQL. Look at here. Please, I'm just dividing the output, dividing the result. First is I am making the subquery. I am finding the John's. I do get the John's manager ID. Clear? First SQL, subSQL works and it returns the manager of the John's. After that, I am equating. I need to further filter out because I doesn't want to report John's. This is the produce. First, this works. It produces 7839. Your outer SQL works. After working, I apply one more filter and rename should not be a John's. I am removing the further filter from the data set. Okay. So it is going to remove the
not equal to.
Not equal to. Sorry. Okay. This is the one way. This is very helpful, easy, but you can do a lot of problem solves using the subsequels. This cannot be solved using your joins. Very difficult to write. If you think I can write this sequence in joins, I think you can write it, but it is become very, very difficult to write. Okay, it will become complex. Okay, so do one more examples. I do remember there is one PDF document I shared. It has a 258 of questions. It has so much of questions on subsequels, so many, at least 50 to 100 subsequels they have. You can use that for your practice. I lost the notes. My other laptop is not booting up. But that one we have, that one, the PDF one, I think 258 questions he has SQL. First day I think I shared a few days back. It has so much of sub-equals to practice, and okay,
We'll share once again.
yeah, it should be
The
there.
table is the same. It's a Scott.
Yes. This yeah, this one, yeah, this table is the same, column is the same, everything is same. This one. They're having lots of many subsequels they use. Okay, I recommend now this is a good time to start for you to explore this question and answers. There are so many good questions, you can start exploring them. The same, even table, column, data, everything is same. This all 258 questions is only on these two tables. 238. See here. Find the list the highest paid employees working under King. Find, okay, look at this one. Find latest, list the highest paid employee working under King. How to solve this problem? I need to find an employee's highest paid employee. He is working under King. What should I do? Not getting? No. Okay. How to get that? I wanted to find an employees. They're working under King and who's getting the maximum salary. First, I need to find max salary. But they are working for means manager as in having a King. What I do is first is find out whose employees such employees they're working for. You tell me now, find out employees who work for King. How do you find it? How do we find it? Divya?
Sir,
How do you find employees working for King?
equal employee.
How do you possibly do it? What will happen? Will it possible this equal looks good, syntactically good, but output will be nothing will come. How people manage? How employees will have the same name, same employee name of King? Is it possible? What will they have if they are working for the King? Which column will have that employee number? MGR column will have the number. The manager. I want to find an employee whose manager is King. These are the string, not MGR. Okay, these are the employees. They have a manager as a King. Look at 7839, 7839, 7839. I don't know why this is getting difficulties. Thing is, you need to understand what is the data in the MGR column. MGR column has the data. It has again an employee number, who they are working for. Employee number for the Blake 7839. That is the King is a manager. This column data represents the manager employee information. MGR represents the manager of that particular employee. So I'm going to find who is the manager having the value of King. I do get now. So I need to get the maximum salary out of it. Instead of saying star, I'm saying max salary. Okay, that's all. This is maximum salary of the people working for the employer called or a manager called King. So like that, there is so many questions we have. This book is good. Look at here, the same output they have written. So all subsequels, all subsequels. You can find some, look at all of them, mostly subsequels. You can try. Same, Subhash, same questions, same tables, same thing, everything, DMP, DPT table. Only thing is you just create your tables the moment you log into cloud as I regularly do, create two tables. Create as select from EMP. These two commands are executed as create table EMP as select. Just do that locally. You create. After that, you start creating. All this example works. All of this program works without any problem. You can copy, but question and answers both are here. I leave it to you guys how you wanted to learn. If you really copy paste, it will work. If you really wanted to practice, take a question and try to understand. Then take a question and understand. See, list of the people, employees working in Chicago. List out the employee department is all the employees. List out this is using a join location because location is from the department table. They're using a join. So this is a good set of questions you can practice. Okay. So any more questions here? I'll wind up early today, or I can go ahead and teach one more concept is there. You can understand this. One more question here. Find an yeah, this is because we can ask any questions. Find out an employees whose salaries is greater than the salaries of analysts. Yeah, this is a good question. Let's try to answer. Okay, otherwise try to answer this question. Whose salary is less than the salaries of Mr. James? Any person who's taking the salary less than the James, I wanted to find. How do you find? No one want to answer this. Keshav, you only tell. Money.
Salary is greater than where?
Huh?
Where salary is greater.
Less than I said.
Less, okay, less than.
Select salary from
where the name is equal to James.
If I ask, if I tell salary should be lesser than the two employees, example, and then you use in here Turner, comma, I have another guy called Adams or James. So I'm going to find an employees whose salary, okay, do one thing. This is where I wanted to start. Now this is what it is giving. It is going to find out the employees whose salaries is less than the salary of Turner. Correct? Your outer SQL, inner SQL returns the salary of the employee called Turner. This is your inner SQL is returning the salary of a Turner. Okay. Okay. This is the salary of a Turner. Any doubts about it? Okay. Now I also wanted to find another called James, salaries of James and the Turner. I want to find an employee whose salary is less than the salaries of James and Turner. So what will happen now? Single row returns more than one value. Why? Here
it's giving salaries of James and Turner.
we am getting a two salaries. Again, your all the logical operators. What are relational operators? Equals, less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, can check only one value, but your subsequent is returning more than one value. When you are checking for the equality, what is the option? Is equal to what I should use instead of, if you are using equal, what is that meaning? You are checking for the equality. When you are checking for the equality for multiple values, the substitution for this is what? In. Maybe I write it. I have the other notes I have written very well in that. Okay. Equal is for equality. Equal for what? Equality of one value at a time. That's all. For equivalent of these, what we have? For equivalent of multiple values for equality, what we have? In is for equality. Again, you check for equality for more than one value. Correct? This English is correct. Equality. This is a single. If you use a single equals, you check for equality of only one value. For the respective, you have in is for multiple values. Same way, if you use any other operations, they're all checks for only one value. Correct? So what is the equivalent of you want to compare more than one value? Here, and your subsequel is returning more than one value. Correct? It is returning more, but I'm not using the equality. I'm using the less than. I wanted to find employees whose salary is less than the salaries of James and Turner. I'm not checking the equality. If at all I'm using equality, I should have used the in operator. But here, I wanted to use a relational operators. It is not other than the equality. I'm using for the less than. And what should I use it here? This is a question. It is not going to do it. Why? Because subsequel is returning more than two values. The subsequel works. Do get a two values here. 1500, 950. Here, but your logical operator can equate only what? Can equate only one. If it is less than one value you are comparing, definitely it should have been worked. Look at here, if you have one SQL, one value, definitely the SQL works. There is no problem. But since it has a more than one value, it is unable to work it. Then what should I do? For that, we have an operator called any and all. What is the meaning of any and all? Any means, here all means, I don't know where I should use, I'll let you right? Okay. All means it is going to compare less than for all the values you written in the subject. What is happening here? Look here. First is, all of you clear about this concept, what I'm trying to write this in this SQL. At least tell me the problem statement. What is the problem statement, Vani? One more, just a minute, I'll pause the recording. Less than James or less than Turner or operator. And either one is less, then I'm going to say here any. Any means kind of an or. What does it mean? Any? It should be less than any of these, one of these. Okay, look at here. I'm going to check it now. It is going to get me the value. These many values are less than or equal to less than the values of Turner and the James. Look at the result. How many data I'm getting? 6 rows. Because here salary is, look at the salary, what they're getting, Turners and all, 950 and 950 and 1500. Okay. Now I'm going to run this. You are getting an output whose salary is less than any of these values, any of these subsequent return values, 950 and the 1500. Why you getting the 1100 here? It is not less than 950. Connie? Hello.
Hello, sorry.
Why you are getting the value 1100 is not less than 950?
Because you're checking for both.
Both.
You're using in
If you are using any,
any.
if you are using any means either of the value is less than, it is going to get it. Here getting the value of 1300, it is greater than the 950, but it is less than 1500. That means inside it is going to operate 950. How it is going to say? Check inside salary is less than 950. It is using R. Salary less than 1500. Internally, this is how the SQL is getting solved. That's the reason you do. Now the same SQL, I'm going to change a bit. I'm using and. What will happen? Not and, all. All is kind of an and. What is that meaning? Keshav? Keshav left. Keshav is there. Okay, Keshav. Hello, Keshav?
Yeah, Vinay.
Yeah, what is this meaning now?
All is N is below 950 and
It is going to check for must and should all the values.
yeah,
Outer SQL must and should be greater than the values of 950 and 500, 1500. It's not like an or. It is
yeah,
going to equate with an and. That's the
and
difference between any and all. See here, it is going to get you the value. It is must and should less than the values of 950 and the that is means it is going to get you the lowest value compared to the 950. That's what it is going to do. This is when do you use any and all? Quick summary. Someone or Subhash, you want to give an attempt? When do we use any and all?
So any is either or.
No, when
all
we
is
should use
both the
no. When we should use any or all? Which operator we use? Whenever you're using the relational operator other than the equality, you are checking for less than equal to greater than equal to less than greater than less than equal to greater than or equal to only the case you wanted to compare more than one value. If it is a relation, your subsequel is returning one value, then you don't need to use any or any. Your subsequel is returning more than one value. You wanted to compare your relational operators for any of the value or all the values. Any means or all means must and should. It should be qualified for all the values returned from the subsequels. If you're using any means, it can be qualified for one of the value returned from the subsequel. This is where the use of the and all, any and all. This is a very simplest way I can explain any and all. Okay. Clear? Any questions here? I'll give this notes recording. I strongly recommend if you want to take a break.